Thank you for tuning in to Victorious in Recovery. Well, as usual, it's been quite a week. Not really necessarily because anything out of the usual happened, but more so because I had a little bit of depression set in, and I couldn't really figure out how to get better. And I guess the easiest way to put it was that there wasn't any one thing. It's not just one part of me that is causing the depression. There was a lot of sides to it. I had talked a little bit last week about being sick physically, and of course that has a lot to do with it. But there was a lot. I've been really stressed out mentally, physically. I'm still recovering a little bit from my surgery. I'm just not quite back physically. So things that usually wouldn't bother me, bother me. And they teach us that acronym HALT. Don't get too hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And a lot goes into that. You know, you can sum it all up into self-care. But self-care is only as good as I know how to do it. I get out of place sometimes because in theory, I know what to do. Like I was talking last week, I know that I'm supposed to get outside and move around and eat better foods and pray and do all those things. I know in theory, I get it. But sometimes it slips a little too far to one side. On any given day, on a good day or a bad day, it's just a little bit to one side or the other, and I'm just kind of teeter-tottering a little bit, but it's never bad, It's a little bit down, a little bit up, but every once in a while I'll miss that balance. And before I know it, I'm swung all the way over to the other side, and I'm tired and hungry and angry and lonely and tired. All the things, And when I get there, I don't always know how to get back up. Even knowing that I'm there, it's not always easy to say, okay, I'm going to do something different today. And I get stuck. And then my pride gets stuck too. Because not only do I not know how to do it, not only am I not really in the mood to do anything about it, but I'm also in this spot in life where for some reason I feel like I should know, or I should have the motivation, or I should be better. And that cripples me, because at that point it makes it hard to ask for help. So for several weeks now, I've been using a to-do list very, very frequently for my new job and for just trying to keep up with all the new things. But over the last few days, I've made myself do that with some self-care stuff, with some sanity things. And it's really helped. I started out by going and getting some things to clean my shoes. Seems like a very simple, non-important thing, really. Not in the grand scheme of major depression, But doing that helped me kind of start a process, because I also had some boxes on top of my table that I needed to go through to then finish fully moving into the kitchen and getting the kitchen organized. And I need the kitchen organized because I've been eating out a lot because I don't know where anything is, and haven't really wanted to put any food anywhere because I didn't know where I wanted things to go. And so it was just cascading issues. And a lot of that was playing into what I've been feeling this last couple of weeks. I had made some real progress in the beginning with moving in and getting my things set up, and I got to a point where it was livable, and I just kind of stopped. And The reason why I'm mentioning any of this is because it's really, really simple things that are so easy to forget. So often, I'm worried about the big things. Stay clean. Do your job. Be a good dad. All these major lifelong things that I forget that my sanity is tied to all the little things. That I forget that my peace of mind and my serenity is directly attached to the small things like sweeping my floor and cleaning my dishes and putting my clothes up, making my bed, calling my friends, going to a meeting, picking up a book and reading it, taking my shoes off and going and walking in the lawn. Those little things add up, and when I'm ignoring too many of them, I can find myself too far to the depression side, too far on the bad day side, to where now not only am I depressed, but I'm so far gone into that hole that it's hard to have the motivation to try to start getting out of it. And that's that spiritual daily maintenance. That's my physical well-being maintenance, my surroundings. I forget that life isn't just the spiritual principles in the 12-step books. I forget that life isn't whether or not I'm going to heaven or hell. Life isn't the name that I use to call my God. That real life, everyday real life, is lived in the very small things. It's lived in whether or not I feel comfortable where I am, whether or not I can be proud about my home, whether or not the food I eat makes me feel good or not. Today, I had somebody come and visit me, and they gave me a hug, and I realized I hadn't had a real hug in probably 2-3 weeks. I had forgotten what it felt like to have contact with another human being on an emotional level. And I don't care how much book knowledge I have. I don't care how much Bible knowledge I have, how long I have clean. If I don't have those little things, if I don't feel loved and cared for, if I don't feel like I can invite someone into my house and it be presentable, if I go to put on my shoes in the morning and none of them are quite right because I need to clean them, it's hard to live life comfortably. And I don't know if maybe I'm strange in some way, but I need those things. And I'm half inclined to think that most people do. There's got to be a reason why these comforts are so important to us. For me, one of the big reasons is that it frees up my level of anxiety, my ability to be willing gets freed up when I'm not bogged down by all the little tiny things. Because if I don't sweep and I don't wipe off the counter that one time and I don't pick up my shoes today and then I don't buy groceries tomorrow and I don't take that drink out of my car, I don't pick up the papers on my desk, eventually there's so much to do that I can't function on a most basic level. And that's not even mentioning my relationship with God and my relationship with other humans. That's just my relationship with me. So if you're anything like me and you find yourself a little overwhelmed, a little under the weather, too far on the other side, you can do what I did today and just start with something really small. Just one thing. I've told people in the past, and thankfully I remembered it and I was able to do it today, but I've told people in the past, like, you can't start with a list that has 30, 50, 100 things on it. I just have to put 3 things on a list that I can easily accomplish today. And the beauty of it is that when I check those off, I'm going to feel good. Whether or not there's visible evidence that I did anything is kind of irrelevant. I know that I did something because I checked it off my list. And if I do that enough days in a row, I'll see a big difference. Once my area and my day-to-day is cleaned up, then I'm able to really put in some effort into helping others. And I think that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of my life. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to show your support for the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from me, follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Victorious in Recovery. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time.